audio sharing settings, everything's included. I am on the wrong account. That's fine, whatever. That's how far gone my brain is. It hurts quite a bit to talk, so someone else go ahead and take off with the intro here. We are live.
Alright, so welcome everybody to the SomeSaltyGamers podcast. I am Heavy Sands 1911. With me as always is Cat, aka Monoshiro24, and the guy in the background who sounds like he's dying is Crimson Waters.
I'm sick, okay?
Who sounds like he's dying.
Look, the only reason we're on is because we have not been on here for, what, almost 3 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks.
2 weeks without this beautiful, beautiful cast of shenanigans.
So we just feel like even if it's just for an hour or so, we just be on to entertain you.
Yep. So today we plan on talking some gaming stuff. Just kind of seeing what's been going on in the world of video games, whether it's some of our favorite video games or not. Just what's been going on out there.
I would actually like to lead with just a name that might make Heavy go, oh, CD Projekt Red, man.
Yes.
There's so many things about this company that I love. I've loved every game they've produced, but there has been some mild controversy surrounding them. And Cyberpunk 2077. Have you seen anything on that?
The crunch.
Right.
I saw about the crunch and a few other things that was Cyberpunk related when people were first talking about it.
So apparently the crunch is just a staple of working at CD Projekt Red. It's happened with every game that they've made, and it'll probably continue to happen because of their business model, which is quality over quantity. But the impatience of gamers, I think, is really what makes the crunch happen, so to speak.
Oh, most definitely.
I don't remember why they're crunching this time, considering they pushed the deadline back a couple times already.
I honestly, I kind of think that's why they're gonna crunch, is because a combination of the fact that they have delayed the game several times, as well as the fact that on the whole gamers are some of the most impatient people on the planet. You know, we want good games and we want them now. You know, we don't want to wait a year or more for a good, well-polished game. We just want something to occupy our time, and then conversely we get pissed off when the game isn't as polished or as perfect as it should be. So, I mean, case in point, I'll point to one of the sagas I love in video games, Mass Effect. 1 and 2 were great. They took a lot of time between the games. Yes, there was some crunch. And then Mass Effect 3 came out, and holy dog shit, that was bad.
All it was in Andromeda.
Andromeda was even worse, and then we don't talk about Anthem. I mean, if you want to know why crunch is so bad in video games, that's why right there. You know, when Anthem came out and nobody knew what the hell was going on in that game, nobody exactly knew what they were doing. Things were changing left, right, and crazy with EA as well as BioWare. You get a game that comes out, probably one of the hottest messes ever.
Right.
And I think that has to do with a lot of the impatience that we gamers are known for.
So, do you think they should have went along with their plan just to delay it another 3 months to get the game fully polished and set up?
Oh hell yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
My thing. I'm sorry. Go on.
If you delay a game simply because it needs more work, by all means.
Don't rush perfection.
Yeah, I will happily wait for you to get the game at such a great level to where the only time we need to see a patch is when something new comes out. I'm looking at you, Massive.
We'll get into Massive in just a little bit, because Massive is a topic all its own.
But yeah, I'll wait for a good, well-polished game to come out. Happily. And I'm pretty sure Kat feels the same way.
Yep. Because Mortal Kombat is not coming back out until 2023. And I most certainly will wait for perfection. As much as I would like a new game right now, or, you know, because right now they'll keep us occupied with combat paths, which they're coming out with another one by November, which is going to have some heavy hitters, some Rambo, Melina, Rain, and I got excited for that. And then I thought, Monoshiro should spend money that she doesn't have, just like any other gamer. Which will happen by November. Just to spend money I don't have because I want it. So yes, I'm that type of person. Yeah, just like everyone else, I'm that type of person. But yeah, I think, you know, to keep gamers occupied, they'll put out little, you know, missions here in between games and combat packs and stuff just to keep us going until something new arrives. So like I said, I'd rather not rush perfection. So if it's going to take another year or so for games to, you know, come out, then so be it. And then people have to take in this situation with this pandemic as well. Things, you know, it's not the same as before. So they also have to take dedication to stuff. So, you know.
Speaking of perfection,
Witcher 3?
Genshin Impact has most certainly taken the gamer world by storm recently.
Yeah, it's a gacha game that came out of left field.
Actually, it's been in development for a while. I believe that it's been talked about since MiHoYo's last really popular game, Honkai Impact 3, which was also a great little gacha game right there.
Oh, it was. It was well done, especially on mobile.
Yes. So just a couple questions surrounding that, and that's do you think the game is worth the hype? Have you played it? And do you think it deserves the spotlight that it's getting?
I have not played it, but from what I've seen, it looks like it could be really fun. But I don't know if I could say it's worth it, simply because I haven't played it. You know, any game that does well and is fairly well polished, fairly well done, has good like, I don't want to say gripping, but you know,
Deserves all the
gameplay.
hype.
Yeah, if it's a game that'll pull you in and you can enjoy it, then yes, I think it will deserve as much hype as it gets. I'm actually kind of glad that the hype came in uh, with the game actually out on release, as opposed to the hype from a
A beta or
CGI
alpha?
trailer
Okay.
that so many of us have fallen for.
I pretty much agree because I have not played this game at all. But like I said, if it's well developed and everything, then it deserves the hype, especially if you enjoy it.
I have played the hell out of Genshin Impact. In the first day, I hit the max level I possibly could. I have not bought anything from the game quite yet. And in my opinion, it is unbelievable that it is a free-to-play game. It's so well polished. It is ridiculous. That type of polish is something that we as gamers expect from, let's say, Destiny.
Yeah, from Triple A's.
Yeah, or, things like, Call of Duty or whatnot. The game is really well done. And besides some quality of life changes that it needs, I don't really have a complaint about the game. And that's saying something.
Yeah.
I tend to look for bugs and everything inside games, so I have something to complain about.
Oh,
Is Cat gone?
I don't know.
I'll double check. There's some network issues. Can we talk about this new party system, please?
I fucking hate it.
Like, I get it's supposed to be for the PS5 interface, but I think they could have waited a little longer to implement it.
They should have waited a lot longer, because this party interface, this chat thing, I'm not a fan of this. I absolutely hate it. This is one of the reasons why I'm not joining parties anymore.
And Kat, just to let you know, we cannot hear you. There is a network issue, so you may have to join and rejoin.
No problem.
Oh, I can hear you.
Oh, there she goes.
Yeah, no, I thought you guys left me. I was like, what the hell?
No,
Once
we
again,
would never.
all Sony.
It said network fail on both ends. I was like, Jesus Christ. Normally it's me with the issues.
No,
Good job,
heard
Sony.
heavy, just fine.
But actually, I was asking before it got cut out. I was asking, since you guys both play Destiny 2, I actually had a question for you both with this Destiny 2 Beyond Light Raid stuff. That new release that's supposed to be coming out. What do you guys think about it? Since I read up that it's supposed to have new raids for players and everything.
It's one raid. It's one raid. It's
Oh,
gonna.
it's just one.
It's coming
One
2
raid.
weeks after launch. And
Like what? One new strike?
I think 2 new strikes. But with every game like Destiny, Division, AAA's like that, there's a race to beat the new raids that come out for what we call World's First. And it essentially puts teams on the map for these AAA titles and for companies to view them and to, basically, say, hey, these guys are pretty good. They can go professional, and it's a really good way to get recognition in your name in the communities that surround the video game. Yep. Destiny does raids really well. They learned from their first raid and they've improved consistently since then. That's a personal opinion. And
I can
yeah, go
agree
ahead.
with that. After playing Vault of Glass?
Mm-hmm.
And D1 with you and the other crew we were in, that decided we wanted to do the D1 raids. Vault of Glass, I kind of enjoyed, even though, I couldn't really go ham like I would like to.
Right.
But between doing that one and Crota's End, you can definitely see a bit of improvement there, and then going into the Destiny 2 raids,
I mean,
it's vastly different.
here's the other thing. It's not just about mechanics for Bungie. The scenery is really important. Just the raids and the dungeons, man, they look so good.
I mean, as much as we talk trash about Bungie when it comes to things like the peer-to-peer PvP system, the lack of how can I put it, of upfront confirmed strong anti-cheat, they still really know how to craft a beautiful as well as atmospheric set piece.
Man, just describe, like, when you're doing Crota's End and you gotta jump into that pit of thrall, and you get that sense of hopelessness as it takes away your light and you move slower and slower through it. And you have to find your way to pillars of light inside the dungeon in order to progress forward. Creating a scary atmosphere and really showcasing, if these are the little guys that are putting the fear of God into us, imagine what will happen when we fight Crota.
Yeah, like you're sitting there and all you're seeing is just this endless amount of thrall. You can't use your abilities. You can't haul and run away. You have to stand and fight. But your fighting is just, for lack of a better term, your fighting is just a soldier.
And your efforts are for naught, because the hordes will keep coming and you'll die eventually.
Yeah. You have to find a way to persevere and progress through these insurmountable odds, while also not having everything that makes you a guardian.
But I also feel like we've kind of veered off Kat's original question, which I already forgot.
What do we think about Beyond Light and the new raids
Right.
and
Yeah.
raid and the
Everything that's coming with it with this new release. Because I think I saw it's coming out in November, if I'm right.
It's coming
Yeah.
out in 2 weeks.
So with Beyond Light, I will say this: I'm hyped. I don't want my expectations too high. But sort of like what MTash said in one of his videos, I don't think people realize how big the changes are that are coming with Beyond Light. Everything is about to change. Your level of customization, how you play the game, how you interact with people and enemies. I'm hyped. I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped.
I mean, I'm stoked simply because I get more story.
That too.
I'm getting whole new fucking area to explore, a whole new amount of enemies to fight,
And
a whole lot of weapons to grind for.
I think the best part about that is the next 3 years for Destiny are already planned.
Yep.
So Beyond Light is done. I'm pretty sure the seasons for Beyond Light, those have already been thought out and finished and planned already. Are just ready for the update in the game. And I think that really gives Bungie a chance to, one, if there are any bugs or fixes that they need to do to really knuckle down and focus on those things.
Yeah.
And two, maybe they're learning from the season of Opulence just a little bit, and maybe we'll get a new destination or a new activity or new strike further down the line while Beyond Light is going on,
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping they do, because we do need a little bit more PvE wise to kind of satiate people through the droughts, because without pinnacle weapons there's really not much to grind for, and going and being a sweaty player in the PvP aspect isn't really going to appeal to everybody. And it really shouldn't. Because sometimes PvP just isn't where some of us want to play.
It looks like there's a huge focus on PvP. But yeah, I mean, we here on this podcast, or at least I can speak for myself. I like to think further than the average gamer will about a series. When you hear Beyond Light, people are only expecting to see the changes that are coming and not the changes that are to come past what's there when you first open the door. You know, you open the door and they see the living room, but they're not thinking about the kitchen and the room upstairs or the bathroom. They're just, oh, there's a couch here.
Yeah. No, yeah.
That's a good analogy.
So the way we think about the structure heavy. We think about, you know, how is this house standing up? Is the roof insulated? Is it tarred and sealed? You know, those are the things we think about.
I think about entrance and exit strategies.
That too, but that all comes with the layout of the house. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get you. You know, we try to take in the whole as opposed to the part.
Right. But yes, to answer your question, Kat, very excited, very happy that Beyond Light is coming.
I'm happy. I'm happy with a lot of the changes they are making.
Yes.
And it's the changes. Some of the best changes, in my opinion, are actually toward the PvP side, like nerfing Mountaintop.
I mean, they're getting rid of ritual weapons as a whole, supposedly.
Well, now they're bringing out adepts.
Just rehashes of old weapons, which I kind of agree with.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're bringing out the adepts right now in trials, and then they're doing adepts and adept mods, which can stack apparently. So that's interesting.
There's so much. There's so much. I can't wait to play with all the little new toys.
Oh, I cannot wait for the new weaponry. I've got a feeling the new weaponry is just going to be so fun.
I'm sure everything will be like we dreamed it.
Probably not, because my dreams are very, very specific. Like, I had big dreams for Div 2, but those were shattered horribly after the first update.
Oh, Div 2. We'll get to Div 2. We'll get to Massive. This guy already grabbed the solar plexus.
Trying to figure out what the hell is going on with everybody crouch spamming in Destiny all of a sudden. Did Fortnite go down?
Are you guys Fortnite players?
Nope.
Or went and be caught dead playing that game?
I'm not much of a battle royale player. I'm really not a fan of it. I like having my games with story as well as a PvP aspect to it, but when it's just a PvP focused game that requires you to hunt and scavenge, I'm not a fan of that. If I'm gonna hunt and scavenge, I want it to be in a horror setting.
True.
I don't mind the battle royale setting. I just wish I had a team to play with. I, for the love of me, cannot play with randoms. I'm too competitive for that.
You'll be killing the people you're playing with.
Yes.
I mean, if there's friendly fire on, probably.
I am much too competitive for that.
You,
You know,
you shot me. We're on the same team. I know.
you dead. I mean, there was that time, that brief moment when we did try to do Siege, and Jesus Christ.
I wanted to do more Siege, but I felt like there wasn't going to be enough consistency with the team that we had.
Yeah.
Because Eric and PK kind of just, they go in and out of games quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm what you would call a career gamer, and if I don't see potential in a long-lasting team for the game,
Yeah, I need to message him actually. I need to see how he's doing. I haven't talked to
PK?
him in a while.
Yeah. But let's move on to Massive here. I defer to my Massive expert here, Heavy.
Well, there's just so much wrong with Massive right now. I mean, because even after the shakeups with, you know, the what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of the reshifting that was supposedly going on within them. You know, Division 1 came out, and at first I thought it was in a great fucking state. I enjoyed it. It was difficult yet fun. You still felt like an agent. You never felt like anything was actually hopeless, which is a very weird thing to say when you're playing a game that kind of focuses on the whole hopeless world that it's built in the first game, and then with the second game coming out and everybody's starting to come back, communities are forming, you're no longer really needed as the hero. You're more here as just helping out. But when Massive started updating, they just started fucking everything up. Enemies became stupidly tanky, which depending on level isn't a problem, but they also became stupidly damaging, which is a problem. Considering you can't have a whole lot of armor. If you want to be able to do damage, you can't have armor. If you want to have armor, you can't deal damage. If you want to use skills, you might as well just kiss your ass goodbye.
Jesus.
That sucks, especially for me, because I'm a skill build guy, and I can make them work. But the amount of grinding you gotta do to make that happen is sickening.
Yeah, and you know, it's nothing on, you know, Krim can attest to that one. If you're a skill build user, like you said, that grind is stupid. It really is. And
So pretty much not worth the effort then.
yes and no. You know, it's for me it's a different way of looking at it, because I can make a retarded build in that game out of not perfect items, but sometimes it just doesn't feel worth it. It's nothing, you know, when they don't touch the PvP aspect of it at all. It's kind of one of those things where you're like, well, why even have it? Get rid of the PvP. If you're not going to try to make it better, try to balance, try to keep a balance, I should say. If you're not going to give us more modes, more maps, why keep it? The PvE is just probably one of the most insane pendulums in gaming. The lower the difficulty, yeah, of course things are going to be easier, but once you get into heroic, legendary difficulties, you are just getting stomped unless you grind out.
Unless you have the
in
right
perfect
builds. Yeah. I got bored with the tower.
Oh yeah, the summit.
Yeah, I got bored with the summit. It's me and you were just sort of tearing through those floors.
Yeah.
And I think we like stopped at heroic and it still felt easy.
Yeah. I mean, we even went and put the world on heroic, and we were still just tearing through everything.
And legendary. What's a good analogy I can make? I went from putting a button on a teddy bear to chiseling diamond with a wooden spoon.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. You can
That's
sit
from
there.
heroic to legendary. That is a huge difference.
I mean, yeah, that's probably the best way I can explain it too. You know, you go from having a time to kill in heroic if you land all your shots of what would you say, Grim? Maybe 0.6, 0.7 seconds on a red bar on heroic to dumping 15 full mags into a red bar on
Is 2
legendary.
mags for a red bar on legendary, which is already insane. 2 full mags with a proper build.
With a proper DPS build.
Yeah. With the status effect build, that's much less. Status effects are percentage based. Skills are a mix between your damage and a percentage based, depending on the skill you're using.
And depending on your skill tier.
Yeah,
which is another story.
It's really weird, and I wish they would have just left it like how they had it in TU6, where the game was probably the most balanced.
TU6 was beautiful.
But it's the division.
It is. It's division, but you know they got everybody hyped because they were like, Division 2 will have raids.
Yet to complete a division raid, and it's not because I don't have the skill to. There's no way that Massive has no way of bringing the community together the way Destiny does.
Yep.
I was just about to ask you guys who has the better raids.
Destiny.
Destiny
By far has the better raids.
That wasn't even
much to think about, huh?
You can't compare the two at all.
Well, let me put it to you this way, because I've done a raid in Division and I've done raids in Destiny. Okay. Destiny raids have both strong mechanics focus as well as a good balance of combat. You know, there's good jumping puzzles. There's good little, you can explore the hell out of it, find all kinds of little nooks and crannies and secrets and lore. In Division, your raids, the first raid that came out, if you weren't running 8 people with a DPS build, you weren't getting through it.
It's still that way.
Yeah, it's still that way. If you don't have a solid, strong DPS build with max crit chance and really high crit damage, you will get nowhere in that raid. The second one, we attempted it and it was retarded.
Well, for a 2-person.
Yeah, but you and I were able to 2-man the first part of the raid all the way to the first encounter.
Yeah.
That in and of itself is a pretty good fucking accomplishment on console with unoptimized builds. That's
pretty good. but we're not the average Division player.
No, we aren't.
As I said, we're good enough to be pros in the game. Not that I'm willing to put in that work, but
Fuck, I ain't willing to put in that goddamn work. Fuck that. And the Division community,
it's toxic.
it sucks.
Is it worse than Destiny?
Destiny's community isn't bad.
Compared to some games communities, Destiny's a fucking haven. Like, yeah, you got some people when you LFG in Destiny looking for, you know, a raid or a carry or some help with something. You got some scumbags that'll sit there and be like, well, I'm not going to help if you're not at a certain level, or you don't have a certain kill-death ratio, or you don't have a certain amount of clears.
So pretty much if you're a newbie, you're not getting any help.
Well, you can still find groups that are willing to help you even if you're a newbie. At least in Destiny. In Division? Fuck.
Oh man, the raid LFG, I don't even bother posting in it. People's demands are ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like you gotta have the most OP build with crit chance and like 97 clears of the raid.
It's just what's the word? It's not snootiness.
Snobbiness. It's an elitist.
Yeah, there you go. The elitist attitude you get from the Division community is stupid. Like, I just want to do a raid. I have the skill to do it. I have the knowledge of what to do. I just haven't done it before. You know. That's all I want. All I want is to do it. I just need a team.
And they fucked up. I really think that they screwed it up when they made it an 8-person raid.
So no matter what, you have to have 8 people.
To actually do the last encounter of the first raid, yes, you have to have 8 people. If you don't have 8 people, you will not get that raid done.
That sounds ridiculous.
I mean, you have some people out there that like find exploits that, you know, can let you 2-man it. But even then, most of those have been patched because Division doesn't want anyone to have fun. Massive.
Yeah, Massive doesn't want anybody to have fun. I mean, we still remember that fucking the banhammer phase Massive went through that didn't work.
And they're thinking about doing another blanket ban for the damage glitch that's out now.
I didn't know there was another one out.
Oh, there's always going to be a damage glitch, dude.
Well, I mean, I know they were trying to figure out the one in the Dark Zone, but they don't want to touch the Dark Zone at all anymore because their fucking PvP team ain't working on the game.
Right.
You know, fucking Red Storm's gone. I think they went to go work on Avatar or another project. All the core guys who helped develop the Division in Division 2 from scratch are all working on Avatar.
That kind of makes me scared for the game. Avatar coming out. There's the thing, they're not talented people, you know. I wonder if it's restrictions being placed on them by the parent company that's turning the game into what it is, or if it's something else.
I don't think Ubisoft would technically want that game to be this shitty.
Yeah, but Ubisoft is the company keeping it alive. Again, most of the main team left.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, Massive's parent company is Ubisoft.
That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe Ubisoft keeps hiring people to work on the Division because they want the game to be better, but they don't know how.
Well, first off, they gotta hire some quality people. I mean, I'm not saying that some of the devs like Thylander or Trick Dempsey are bad people. I just think that they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Do you think
that...
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think that they've changed direction too many times with the game. Because it was supposed to be like Massive's first game. It was supposed to be kind of a top-down RTS type.
Mm-hmm.
And then somewhere along the line, somebody had the brainwave of making it a third-person cover-based looter shooter. Which is way too much of a mouthful to speak.
It is, but it's again, I love
It's an
the
app.
gameplay for the Division.
It's great, you know. They improved the hell out of the core elements of gameplay with Div 2. You know, gunplay is a lot more smoother. It's technically faster depending on your build.
Oh, it's much faster.
They just got rid of a lot of the things that made you feel like a damn agent. You know, they got rid of... Thank God they got rid of the lunchbox, but the lunchbox was one of the best things in the game.
Yeah, they gave it to the enemies.
Yeah, they gave the lunchbox to the enemies. You know, if they're gonna have the lunchbox, give me the damn lunchbox back. Screw the fucking healing trap. And then, like, I don't know if it's just Massive not understanding what the community wants, or if it's Massive no longer caring.
I mean, if you're wondering what the community wants, this kind of goes into my next question. So I'll just ask it. I was gonna say, do you think they need a better community team for the Division? Like, the community leaders who are actually going to advocate for what the players want and
Yes.
allow us to see the changes that we need in the game.
100%.
Excuse me, in order to make it better.
100% yes. I think that the
Definitely.
community... I think all games need to have better community teams. You know, like, I'm gonna harken back on the bullshit with Hamish Bode, one of the community leaders, community devs, who joined up with a player's clan. Now, I'm not saying don't. What I am saying is don't join up with a known exploiter. Because that's exactly what he did. He joined up, and they exploited the hell out of the multi-group ability in the Dark Zone to punch the man up. What, like 100, 200 shade levels?
That's a ridiculous amount.
If you're going to be a community member, if you're going to be a member of the community, you're free to join up with whoever you want. But if you're going to be a community manager or a community developer, you need to hold yourself to a higher expectation. You need to be the one that's going to sit there and when you go into these groups and you see that they're multi-grouping and farming for four solo players who aren't going to be able to beat 8 other people. You need to take that to the team, and you need to find a way to bring that to the forefront. Kind of like how Destiny has DMG and Cosmo. You know, those guys, they get in with some of the top Destiny players, some of the top Destiny streamers, but they don't sit there and they don't automatically take their side.
Cosmo's such a damn troll.
He is. Cosmo's a troll, but you know, we've said it many a times. The Destiny community managers, they listen.
They do.
And they don't just jump to the conclusion of, like, I'm going to say 4 or 5 content creators who want to sit there and be like, this weapon's OP, it needs to be nerfed so I can stomp on pubs. They listen to the entirety of the community. If the entirety of the community is saying that a weapon like Luna's Howl, Not Forgotten, back when Forsaken came out and they first introduced pinnacle weapons, were OP, which they fucking were.
And then that also comes from a lot of our local community, Destiny community members. You know, the big ones like Glad and Tashed and DPJ. They they're normal players who have the same complaints we do, who talk to the community every day, and when our community leaders, Bungie's community leaders or community coordinators, go and talk to them or pop up in their streams, you know, they see all of this. And
yeah,
I know especially Glad, M-Tashed, Aztec Cross, they advocate so much for the player base. And it's just one of the things I absolutely love about the Destiny community over the Division community.
Oh, I 100% agree.
The Division community is so damn selfish, and some of the best players with that truly want to advocate for the community don't get the spotlight like they should. Like Lieutenant Buzz Lightbeard and a few others, you know.
You know what? I salute you, Lieutenant Buzz Lightbeard. You, sir, are a gem in the Division community.
You know, a lot of them are just like egotistical assholes, like squids, and even Epic. Epic is pretty egotistical.
He really is.
And he's very elitist, and it bugs me.
And you know, if this is gonna be the first time you're ever gonna hear me say this,
Probably
if
the
the
last.
Division, probably, if the Division community was actually able to get over the egotism, get over the elitist mentality, and become a good community that fought for the survival of the game, I would do everything in my power to become one of those community leaders to advocate for it. But right now, the game is so far gone, and they have such a minimal team working on it, that it's not worth it to try and become anything in the game other than just play it for the events, get your exotic, see that it's rolled like shit, and move on. They need to really start showing the Division community that they care. We know the egotistical streamers and the content creators aren't going to give a shit about the average player who wants to hop on and go farm the Dark Zone. They're just going to fucking roll up in a clan of, and you know, multi-groups, stomp them until they rage quit, and then they're going to sit there and be like, well, get good.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. The Dark Zone's not meant to be fair. But a video game is. They're Dark Zones at this point shouldn't be PvP. They should be a raid. If you're not gonna, like I said before, if you're not gonna work on PvP, you need to get rid of it. It's just that simple.
Alright, man, I couldn't say it better than myself.
And if they do a Division 3, which they probably will, Massive needs to be pulled off.
Who would you give, I feel like I've asked this before, the rights of the Division 2?
That's a hard call. That really is, because I mean, there's a lot of good publishers out there that I think could take the Division and run with it. But
like if you gave the Division, let's say, to CD Projekt Red, what do you think they do with the game?
I honestly think they turn it into a single-player, story-driven game, which I would be okay with. I would be okay if I could sink 100 hours into the Division and get a good, lore-rich story about what happened with the virus, how the Division came to be, how the rogues and the rogue network really came to be, the effects of it on the world, all of that. I don't like finding out about it through little fucking phone calls and recordings. I want to experience it. I want them to tell me
A story.
yeah.
There's that angry sound again. Was I the only one who heard it?
No, I heard
No.
it.
Okay.
But that's just, you know, what I would like. And that's what I think CDPR would do. Is I think we would get that. And I can hope we would out of a company like CD Projekt Red. But I know if it went to another developer, like, I don't know, EA, we'd probably get a fucking COD remake.
I think if it went to
could not be a
EA,
good
they
thing.
would stick with the third-person theme.
Maybe. But, like I said, there's a ton of them out there that could do great things with the Division. The only reason Massive and Ubisoft have it is because they slapped the Tom Clancy name on it.
Tom Clancy's.
If it was literally just The Division and not Tom Clancy's The Division, I think we wouldn't have had the expectations we had with it.
It's like the only Tom Clancy game without a crossover.
Stealth mechanic? Crossover
No.
or a stealth mechanic?
You could stealth until you shoot.
Exactly. And that's bullshit. You know, I want to, like, let me turn around and fucking stealth through a mission and just, you know, go Sam Fisher on a motherfucker with silenced skills.
I mean, the Division 1 had the Splinter Cell outfit.
Yeah.
Which I kind of miss. We don't have any of that stuff now.
Nope. When they just wanted to make everything a joke in Div 2 at first. Like, that's why we got some of the outfits we had. You know, the cosmetics weren't like what you would really want to see running around in the environment. Like the diver's mask and the raincoat and all that.
All that funny stuff.
And then finally, after all the bitching and moaning by the community, they started giving us cooler outfits.
I'm so glad. I love the outfit I have now, I'm not gonna lie.
I love the outfit I got right now, dude. I like it. It's one of the new ones. It's fucking dirty. Looks like something I would probably wear if I just struggled around and found it out in the wild.
Pick it out the trash can, sniff it.
Oh,
It's alright.
Fuck it. Fuck it. I'll break into a CVS and coat myself in Axe. I don't care.
Sniff it? Why sniff it?
We gotta make sure it doesn't stink too bad.
Some smells are unredeemable.
Yeah. I mean, it's the apocalypse. Doesn't mean you still can't get laid. Can't, you know, people still aren't gonna have standards.
That's a funny one. Standards.
Yeah, I know. But that's, I don't know. That's just how I would view it. I'd like to see the Division actually have a story on everything that's gone on in the world from the beginning. You know, give me a Division 3 where I actually take over the role of a first wave agent.
I would have loved to have a Keener DLC or something, and
Yeah, let
seen
me
where
play
he
as
went.
Keener. You know, just something.
Massive is a sore spot for me in heavy. Sorry, viewers.
Yeah, we can bitch and moan about Massive for hours.
The vision is definitely a sore spot. I spent so many hours in that game.
Oh yeah, same here. Same here. But there's just, I don't know, a lot that we want to see different. And it is kind of cool to actually sit down and talk with everybody about the differences between our beloved Destiny community and
And Division.
our much despised Division community.
It's
There are
different.
good people out there in the Division community. They're just few and far between.
I think for a game in general, community makes all the difference.
It really does.
I
I think
mean-
that's one of the reasons I quit Siege.
The Siege community is...
It's toxic.
Siege community is just PC master race. I play with my dick while my mom's in the other room community.
What?
Wow.
Never mind.
That's
Never
the
mind.
Siege community, man. I'm
I
telling
wasn't
you.
gonna go that far, but
I
okay.
hate them. I hate it so much. In the Siege community, if everybody dies purposefully, they expect you to clutch it, and if you don't clutch, they vote you out of the entire game because they fucking died. That's so stupid. I'm sorry.
No, I'm right there with you. I mean, everybody dies at the beginning, and then it's a 1v5. And you don't clutch it up, and then they're like, okay, well, you suck, get the fuck out, get good, scrub. It's like, you're the one that walked out in the middle of the open and got sniped.
That's one thing I thought I was trash at the game until I started playing online with people. I've clutched more matches than even you know about heavy. It's so bad. It's
Hey,
so bad.
The funniest thing about that was, the funniest, or the most fun I ever had in Siege was when I was 1v1ing you.
That's sad. I'm so bad at the game.
But that was just the most fun I had in that game. Even when we had the full 5-stack that went into the actual, you know, meat and bones of the game, I still wasn't having that kind of fun. It was just like, okay, well, me and Krim pretty much know how each other think, and this is just going to be a long fucking match.
I certainly knew how you thought. I'm not gonna forget when we had our full stack, just Eric dropping down and me popping him perfectly in the head at the
That
right
was such a
coincidental
clean
moment.
fucking shot, dude.
I was like, okay, targeted sights, and I shoot, and it says Eric Ash has died. I'm like, what the fuck? Let's see the replay. He fucking comes down from the vent. This shit was so funny. I can't laugh though. That sucks.
But I don't know. I still don't really understand what brings some of these communities to be the way they are. I don't know why some communities are so inherently toxic.
What would be the second worst community in gaming other than Division?
That's
Siege.
gonna take me a little while to think about.
I mean, shit. Let's analyze. You got the Siege community.
The Pokemon
Dota?
community is by far the second worst community in existence for gaming. And you would think they'd have an overall positive community, and they don't. Pokemon is one of the largest games in the world, and when you get into it competitively, people make you want to commit suicide. And there are actual stories online about it. I'm not even joking.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
It's bad.
That's terrible. Really?
Yes.
Wow. I didn't really expect that.
I was gonna say the simp community, but you know.
You know, Pokemon they have a pretty toxic subset of its community. And that's the competitive community for it. It's pretty bad. I don't know what the #1 most toxic community in the world is.
League of Legends?
I was gonna say, but I can only imagine League of Legends must have that spot.
I think it's like a toss-up between League of Legends and Dota.
No, Dota's not that bad. Correction, Dota's bad, but you know, it's not as bad as League of Legends. But yeah, and it's definitely a PC community. It has to be.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the worst part about it. As much shit as like console players get and our communities get, go into a PC community. They'll take you back to those early Modern
Xbox
Warfare
lobbies.
2.
Yeah, they'll take you back to them fucking Xbox lobbies, man.
Ooh.
Xbox 360 and Modern Warfare 2 lobbies.
Yep.
Jeez.
The ones where every racial slur, every homophobic slur, everybody's fucked your mom.
And it's
Everybody.
a squeaker saying this to you too. That'd be the worst part.
Like fucking 12-year-olds trying to fucking talk shit.
I thought that was the worst.
That was the funniest, definitely. It was bad, but it was hilarious.
Oh no, I thought it was the worst. There's like could be grown people, and then there's this little 12-year-old little Timmy playing at 1 o'clock in the morning on
1 a.m. She knows the time.
She knows it.
playing Black Ops, saying "fuck you" and then I was like, Jesus, it's saying every racial slur imaginable. I'm like, yo, little Timmy, it's past your bedtime.
And they'll be like, shut up, bitch, go make me a sandwich.
Don't you got like a book report due tomorrow?
Oh,
Yeah,
funny
like I said,
insult.
and then you'll get the fucking little fucking asshole wants to sit there and be like, go make me a sandwich, woman. You're just like, Jesus.
I used to respond, okay, daddy, ham or turkey, and they wouldn't know what to say after that.
The ones I always liked were the ones where like, I fucked your mom, and I'm like,
Who
so
hasn't?
when you coming back with milk, Dad?
I'd have been like, who hasn't?
I've been like,
I'm
so
here,
did
obviously.
you enjoy when you were looking in her eyes and you saw me?
Does that mean you're my dad? You're my new dad now? We're doing something for Father's Day.
I need you to pay $50,000 on my mortgage.
It's like, Dad, you still owe me 18 years of child support.
I got a college loan that needs to be paid.
That's a threat. Don't do that. But my voice is slowly giving out, so I'm probably gonna end it here. If you guys are okay with that.
Yeah,
Most
I'm okay with
definitely.
All right.
Well, this has been the SomeSaltyGamers podcast. I am Heavy Sins 1911, your hostess with the leastest.
It's
There's
White
crime.
Boy 7th Street here. I'm sorry.
Since Krim can't talk, he is now formerly known as Flamboyant Boy 1977 Triple Z Snap Head Roll.
Oh, go fuck
MOG
yourself.
42069.
Go fuck yourself as well.
I am Monochiro 24.
I'm Crimson Waters. Thank you for coming to our podcast. Do take care, wash your hands, and have a great day.
Or